Okay, guys, the only way you're going to find the right answer to these positions in front of you is by using resulting moves. Now, if you want, give it a try before we get into them, and then you listen to what I have to say about resulting moves. So this should be a short lesson. All we need to do is understand what they are, and of course, try to calculate, try to visualize, try to practice to get the most out of these simple exercises. So guys, at this point in the course, we have talked too many times about candidate moves. Then we calculate each one of them. We start with the easiest, and that way we should be able to use our time and energy in the most efficient way. So if you're ready, pause the video, you gave it some time to find the right move in this position. I'm pretty sure you thought of queen takes f6. Those of you who are a little bit more advanced, you thought of the powerful rook f4. We've talked about rook lift, rook rollover. But after e takes f4, many of you probably were like, you know what, this cannot be it. I lose the rook. Now, those of you who are a little bit more advanced, again, you did not stop right there. You actually took a moment to visualize. Okay, if they take me, well, I take back with my g pawn, and that allows me to bring the other rook to g1, and that's completely winning. Now, the only problem with that variation, assuming you went that far, pawn takes, is that after the black pieces take on c3, well, they get the knight, they got the rook already from before, and they're controlling g1. So this becomes a problem. 90% of us, we're going to just let it go. It just doesn't work. But the ones who are really at that next level that we need to get, guys, they're going to be thinking, well, before I give up on it, what is the real problem behind this variation that I'm trying to make work? Well, the problem is that they could take the knight. So what if I start by solving that problem? Well, if you haven't guessed it, the move is going to be knight a4. I get the knight out with a tempo. They have to do something about the queen. Then I do rook f4. If they take me, then I bring the other rook. Again, guys, this is a resulting move because we only thought of it after calculating one of our candidate variations. There's no way you're going to think of this move as a candidate move if you have not already looked into other variations. That's why we consider them, or we call them, resulting moves. And as you can see, this lesson is extremely important. As we approach lesson number 200, we're going to start taking our course to a whole new level. So they take us rook f4, trying to get to g4. And of course, now rook g1 is coming no matter what. Before we go to the next one, guys, yes, of course, you could have done queen f6. There's some ideas with knight g6 as well. But using this concept of the resulting move, we can find the strongest continuation. Now, position number 2 is a little bit tougher, but if you've been with me from the beginning, you should be able to quickly realize we have a powerful pressure on the dark squares with range checkmate. And you should be looking at your candidate moves. One of them should be rook e6. Now, after rook e6, bishop e6, rook takes back, then we could come to g6. If the pawn takes, this is really powerful. Of course, many people are going to stop over here because they're like, okay, after rook takes again, this is not even check. They could do so many things. But the question is, what could they do? And guys, very important. We have talked about this for the last 5 to 10 lessons. At this point, it's not only about finding the right candidate moves, but getting really good at guessing what our opponent could reply, right? So I'm thinking, I like rook e6, bishop takes, rook takes. I know that my threat is to get to g6. So is there anything the black pieces could do to control g6? Well, guess what? If they do queen c2, they are controlling g6. You already gave them material. They took another pawn. So only because of that, you're going to go back before you give up on your variation, candidate variation, and you're going to think, well, how can I solve this problem that I found in the middle of my variation? Well, the problem is queen c2. So what if I start with pawn c4? It comes with a tempo on the bishop. If they do en passant or move the bishop, I don't mind it because now they just don't have queen c2. So guys, again, it is a move that we can only think of after we calculate one of our candidate moves, one of our candidate variations, and then we think of candidate moves. Now, if they take, we take back, and then pawn c2, easy to get the pawn back, and everything is under control. Now, with that said, we're going to the next one. And look, if you already went over lesson, I want to say 78, we talked about the Greek gift. So you should immediately think of the double bishop sacrifice. I'm not even going to make you do it. Well, you could try to do it on your own, but I'm going to just show you what we should be calculating. So check, oops, sorry, check, then check on sacrifice on g7, king takes, and then here, don't forget, many people go with the rook lift quickly. First, we make sure the king is on the edge. That way, there are no options for them to do rook here and escape, right? So instead, check, they go over, but then after rook f3, they have knight f4 controlling h3, and then everything is under control. So if you calculate this far, you're going to be thinking, is there any way that I can solve this problem? What is that problem? Well, knight f4. What if I could do something about the knight before I sacrifice? Well, of course, you guessed it by now, knight b6, hitting the rook, hitting the knight. If the knight takes, I just go with bishop h7, check, bishop g7, check, and then rook f3. Of course, at this point in the course, you should be more than familiar with these patterns. You should be able to calculate 4, 5, 6 moves down the road. And now it's just a matter of thinking of these resulting moves, right? The last thing we have to do is this position, which I'm going to leave it to you as homework, but let me first give you an idea of what's going on. So basically, the white pieces are looking to do rook d8, king e7, rook e8, then rook d1. But the problem is there's always bishop d4, and also there's some annoying checks. So with that said, if you spend some time on this position, the pure fact that you're calculating and visualizing, even if it's nonsense, is going to help you. So feel free to do so. But ultimately, try to find a very good move that the white pieces have right now, but you can only think of it if you understand the challenges that we have in that variations. Good.